Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. The morning sun slowly rose over a peaceful village surrounded by green hills and long golden fields. The air was cool and fresh, and the sound of birds singing filled the sky. Farmers walked toward their fields with tools in their hands. Shopkeepers opened their small stores, and children walked happily toward their school. Life in the village moved at a calm and steady pace, and every day looked almost the same. In a small house near the edge of the village lived a young boy named Adrian. Adrian was a kind and friendly boy, with bright eyes and a curious mind. Everyone who met him liked him because he was polite and cheerful. But there was one problem that quietly followed him everywhere. Adrian never understood the value of time. He believed that time was endless. He believed there would always be another hour, another day, another opportunity to do the things he needed to do. Because of this belief, Adrian often delayed his work. He postponed tasks, ignored responsibilities, and spent most of his time doing things that gave him quick happiness but no real progress. Every morning, his mother would wake him up early. "Adrian, it's time to get ready for school." Adrian would open one eye, stretch lazily, and say the same thing every day. Just 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes often turned into 30 minutes. Sometimes he even rushed to school without finishing his breakfast. At school, he listened to his teachers, but he rarely focused for long. When homework was given, he always told himself he would complete it later. Later rarely came. Instead of studying, Adrian spent hours playing games, wandering around the village or simply lying under a large tree near the river, watching clouds slowly move across the sky. One afternoon, he was lying under that tree again, enjoying the warm sunlight and the gentle sound of flowing water. His friend Daniel walked by and stopped when he saw Adrian relaxing. "Don't you have homework?" Daniel asked. Adrian shrugged. "I'll do it tonight." Daniel smiled slightly. "You said that yesterday too." Adrian laughed and waved his hand. "Relax, there's plenty of time." Daniel shook his head and continued walking. Days passed, and Adrian continued living the same way. He believed that tomorrow would always give him another chance to fix everything. One day, something unexpected happened. A new teacher arrived at the village school. His name was Mr. Samuel. He was older than most teachers, and his calm voice carried a quiet wisdom that immediately caught the attention of the students. On his first day in class, he wrote something on the board. "Time is the most valuable thing a person can spend." The students looked at the sentence curiously. Mr. Samuel turned toward the class and asked, "Can anyone tell me why time is more valuable than money?" Some students raised their hands and gave different answers, but none of them fully satisfied the teacher. Then he looked at Adrian. "Adrian, what do you think?" Adrian hesitated for a moment and then replied casually, "Because time helps us earn money?" The teacher smiled gently. "That is partly true," he said, "but the real reason is much deeper." He walked slowly across the classroom. Money lost can be earned again, but time lost can never return. The classroom became silent. Adrian listened, but the words did not feel important to him yet. That afternoon, Mr. Samuel gave the students a small assignment. "I want each of you to spend 1 hour doing something meaningful today. Tomorrow you will tell me what you did." Most students nodded seriously. Adrian, however, forgot about the assignment almost immediately. After school, he went to the river again, met his friends, and spent the entire evening playing and laughing. The next morning, Mr. Samuel asked the students to share their experiences. One student said he helped his father in the shop. Another said she practiced reading for an hour. Daniel explained that he studied mathematics and solved several difficult problems. Then Mr. Samuel looked at Adrian. "What did you do with your hour?" Adrian felt embarrassed. "I forgot," he admitted quietly. The teacher nodded slowly. "That is exactly the problem most people face," he said. Adrian looked confused. "What do you mean?" Mr. Samuel leaned against the desk and spoke calmly. "Most people do not lose time in big, dramatic ways. They lose it in small, careless moments." He paused before continuing. "A few minutes wasted here, a few minutes ignored there. Day by day, those minutes become hours. Those hours become days. And those days slowly become a life that never reached its true potential." Adrian felt something strange in his chest. For the first time, he wondered how many hours he had already wasted. That evening, he walked home quietly. As he passed the river, he noticed an old man sitting near the water watching the sunset. Adrian had seen this man before. He lived alone in a small cottage near the hills and was known in the village for his wisdom. Curious, Adrian approached him. "Good evening," Adrian said politely. The old man smiled. "Good evening, young man." Adrian sat beside him on a large rock. For a few moments, they both watched the sun slowly disappear behind the hills. Then Adrian asked a question. "Sir, do you think time is really the most valuable thing in life?" The old man looked at the flowing river. "Look at the water," he said. Adrian followed his gaze. "The water keeps moving forward," the old man continued. "No matter what happens, it never stops, and it never flows backward." He turned toward Adrian. "Time is exactly the same." Adrian thought about this carefully. The old man continued speaking. "When I was young, I believed I had endless time. I delayed my dreams. I postponed my goals. I told myself I would start tomorrow." He smiled sadly. "But tomorrow has a habit of becoming next year." Adrian listened closely. The old man pointed at the river again. "If you place your hand in that water, the water that touches your hand will never return again. Time moves the same way." Adrian felt a deep realization slowly forming in his mind. He remembered all the afternoons he had wasted lying under the tree, all the homework he delayed, all the opportunities he ignored. That night, Adrian could not sleep easily. He kept thinking about the teacher's words and the old man's wisdom. Time lost can never return. The next morning, something different happened. Adrian woke up earlier than usual. The sun had not fully risen yet, and the world felt peaceful and quiet. For the first time in a long time, he decided not to delay his morning. He got ready quickly and opened his books before school. It felt strange at first. His mind kept telling him to stop and relax, but he remembered the flowing river. Time never stopped, so he kept studying. Days passed. Adrian began changing small habits. Instead of wasting hours after school, he spent time finishing his homework first. Instead of delaying tasks, he completed them immediately. Instead of waiting for tomorrow, he used today. The change was not easy. Sometimes he felt tempted to return to his old habits, but every time he felt lazy, he reminded himself of the river. Time never flowed backward. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, Adrian began seeing the results of his discipline. His grades improved. His confidence grew. His teachers noticed his effort. Even his parents saw the difference. One afternoon, Mr. Samuel called Adrian to his desk after class. "I have noticed something," the teacher said. "What is it?" Adrian asked. "You have started respecting time." Adrian smiled. "I think I finally understand it." The teacher nodded. "Then tell me what you learned." Adrian thought for a moment before answering. "I learned that success is not created in one big moment." Mr. Samuel raised an eyebrow. "Go on." "It is built from thousands of small moments used wisely." The teacher smiled proudly. "That is exactly the secret." Years later, Adrian grew into a successful and respected man. People often asked him how he achieved his goals. He never spoke about luck. He never spoke about talent. Instead, he always shared a simple truth. The difference between success and failure is often just how we use our time. And every evening when he watched the sun set behind the hills, he remembered the peaceful river that taught him the most important lesson of his life. Time is always moving. The question is whether we move with it or waste it watching it pass. Because the greatest secret to success is not intelligence, wealth, or opportunity. The greatest secret is learning to respect the value of every single moment.